Hey guys, welcome to my live channel. Now, sorry, why do I know this is like not cute? Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I'm not getting sick, but I don't know what it is. I think it's because I was into all this dust, and so yeah, sorry. I should have taken care of that, then started filming, but this is the best you got when it comes to my live channel because you learn about the real life of me. Hey guys, welcome to my live channel, and I might have just blown my nose on my pants. And I don't think I sound much better, but I think a lot of it is in my head. So I am going to continue because I've been wanting to film this video for a long time. So I think by now it's common knowledge that millennials get royally screwed financially in so many ways. Like, you know, when you go to apply to an entry-level job, but it takes 1 to 7 years of experience, which makes no sense. Like, how is it entry level? And if they're all like this, how are we supposed to get experience? However, I think they keep it entry level because then they can only pay you an entry level salary. And of course, we can't help it. We have to take it because all the companies are doing this. And those starter salaries, they're not even that good. Okay, I don't want to be digressing from my story time here, but pretty much what I can say is, in so many ways, millennials get taken advantage of. And one of those ways happens to be unpaid internships. Now, I know that they love to put in exchange that, you have the chance to get a really great recommendation or maybe get hired by them, or the fact that you're getting college credit. Like, yay, that is great. However, so many college kids doing unpaid internships have to choose between doing their internship and eating dinner. Because ultimately, at the end of a semester or school year, a student doesn't break even with funds. In order to make this unpaid internship work, they're having to also invest their money into it because there's some means of transportation to go there, to have the appropriate clothing, and sometimes they're having to cancel work plans that they have on the side to be able to go to this internship. So it is costing them money. I'm very handsy, I can see in this video, so sorry if that's annoying you. I'll try my best to stop. But I have had 2 terrible internships. So one of them while I was in college, where at least I was receiving credit, and then there was another one that was outside of college because it was a startup and they couldn't pay me. But at the same time, they could have paid me. So when I went to the University of Tampa, there was a restaurant next door, and I forget, like when I first went to college, it was something, and then it got new ownership and they rebranded and they changed the menu, and it was this great place called Outpost. Now it was kind of designed as a sports bar, and I will tell you, they had the best wings. Now, I'm a girl that I like the bone-in, I like the dry rub, and then I have some cool ranch, and all of that just mixed together makes me feel things. Like I feel some kind of way. Now, granted, I know I was underweight in college, so I was always craving salt and fat and meat, but there'd be times where I would just be like brought to tears because I didn't have money for Outpost, or I would walk there in the cold, and I know, like, it's not that cold in Florida, but when there's a cold front and you're used to being in like 100-degree weather, it was so nippy out. Like, it felt really cold. Like, all the other girls were wearing Uggs. It wasn't just me. Anyway, but I would, fight the colder winds to get there and get a to-go order just to bring it back and just indulge. And I would get like the 18 wing set, and sometimes I'd be able to eat it all in one sitting. Ooh, like these wings are so good that I once had some leftovers, so I offered a sorority girl some wings because obviously I wanted to make friends with her because that's a big deal for me to give her my wings. She didn't even eat them all. And then she tossed them in the trash. So throughout the night, I'm like, why didn't she eat the wings? Like, I see them right there. They're right on top of the trash. Like, nobody's around to watch this, I picked them up and I ate them. Now, I did put them in the microwave, so they were zapped, and so that kind of sterilized it. I say this because I'm really not for sure, but I was willing to take the risk, obviously. I do say that part of my reasoning is because I was underweight and I was just craving food. So that's like a sad reason behind it. But if you like eliminate the part about being underweight, it just talks about, like, just highlights how good these wings were. I remember I had like some promoter reach out to me on Facebook because they also tried to have a lot of events. Like in Tampa, you could party somewhere, like not just a house party, but at these venues every single day out of the week. And so it was like an older guy. It was kind of weird. It's like not typically cool college kid, but he Facebook messaged me, and then I was like in return, like, oh, like I'll already be there eating the wings. In fact, I love Outpost so much. Can I have an internship with you guys? Like it was kind of crazy. And it ended up being a serious conversation. Now, I can't even remember exactly the name of this company, but it was actually like a promotional company that was partnered with Outpost and a few other bars. So that kind of ended up having how the internship was able to work. Like I couldn't just intern for a restaurant. So finally the guy gets back to me and he's like, hey, like let's make this internship, and I remember I had to get special paperwork in order to get it approved because it wasn't in the system of the University of Tampa. So there was like some hoops that I had to go through, but I was so excited because I could walk to the Outpost, and I was promised a discount. Now, before I forget, I just want to tell you that this discount never ended up happening. I maybe if I was a little bit more aggressive with it, but here's the deal. The people who worked there, they weren't really aware of the promotional company that Outpost worked with, especially the guy who was supervising my internship, the guy who had, initially reached out to me. They didn't know who he was, and I was never given like an introduction to the entire staff. There was one guy that, again, I am not for sure if he was actually the owner of Outpost, but he was this older man who was really creepy and would like leave comments on my photos or something, and then he would personally DM me to like hang out. It was that, and then that all just made me really uncomfortable because he was ruining my wings experience. So when I did eat there, I was like, I can't say anything. Like, I don't want to be like, excuse me, waiter, like, I qualify for a discount. Like, I felt so stupid, to be honest. Like, again, like, this is a restaurant. So how do I explain to them that I'm their intern? It didn't really work out. Like, I really thought it would. So they hosted meetings once a week. And of course, it was not at the Outpost. Because the promotional company worked with multiple different bars, there was like one guy who was the head of the other bar who worked closely. I don't know if that was like he owned the bar and he created the promotional company. I don't know, but we always met at this one bar that was far. And I can't remember if like Uber wasn't in Tampa or it was really sketchy and it was because it was so new. The taxis were sketchy, but that was something that was like the University of Tampa is familiar and good terms with the taxi service, use the taxis, blah, blah, blah. So it'd be so hard because it wasn't really walking distance. Downtown Tampa is not safe. People would get stabbed on the edge of campus, and I'm just this girl. Like, I'm not going to walk there, and it still would have been like an hour to walk. So, but it was a short taxi ride. So I'd call in, talk to the operator, book the taxi, then the taxi wouldn't show. I'm assuming because it wasn't worth their time because it was such a short distance. So I'd call again. Like, that was a disaster. And then I think it would cost me like $25 to $30 one way, especially because it was always during, like usually when I'd come back from the meetings, it would be during rush hour. And if there's anything wrong with Tampa, it's the fact that they built up the city without ever building up their roads. It is like a 4-lane highway practically, like, but 2 lanes going the direction back to campus. And oh my gosh, the traffic is terrible. If you live in Tampa or you've experienced that, like, oh. So yeah, that would rack up the meter and it costs so much money. And then I'd have like I don't know, like, I guess I don't know what I was expecting from this internship, but I ended up, like, he would give me these pictures and he'd want me to upload them to Instagram. But there was no strategy behind it. And that's what I thought I was going to be learning, was like business strategy. I didn't learn any of that. And then he would give me these times, and obviously he kind of revealed that it's exhausting for him throughout his day to be able to post these things. However, I had classes. Like, I would tell him, like, you know, there's going to be times where I'm not going to be able to make these. Like, I give you my schedule. We could coordinate what I post. But he didn't want to post anything because you couldn't schedule posts. Or, you know what? They should have had Hootsuite, but they didn't. Hootsuite is a way where you can log into all your social media accounts, create posts, and then they're set to, like, schedule to launch. They should have had that. And it was hard because, like, pretty much towards the whole thing was relying on me just posting these social media things. That's, like, the only thing I was learning. Like, I was sitting in on these meetings, and, like, most of it would be about meetings. A lot of it would be just guy talk, because, of course, I'm the only girl there. I think I was offered a drink, which was nice, but I don't know. I felt kind of weird about that. And so, yeah, it was just a weird time. And I remember, like, he had all these pictures that he wanted me to upload to social media. So I was like, okay, like, I'm used to this. And he's like, he spent all this time downloading them onto a CD. And when he handed it to me, I was like, the MacBook Pro that I have doesn't have a CD drive. Like, why? Like, I would assume that he was setting this up on Dropbox or a regular USB stick instead of, like, downloading it to a CD, like, burning it. Like, he was old. He didn't get it. Like, but I was just thinking, man, like, this is just so exhausting. So, I'm trying to think if there's any more details to it, but basically it was a very disappointing internship where it was literally about me being pressured to upload these photos even if I was in class or sleeping or doing this and that. Like, I had to be around the clock posting or else I would hear about it later. Then we kind of fizzled out because we never developed a friendship. He was an old guy, okay? Like, when I say old guy, I think he was in his 40s. So that's how that went. And it was hard. I will say that a few times they did offer to drive me back to campus. But again, I don't know. I just felt a bit uncomfortable because of, they were just so guyish. You know, like, I didn't really want to be alone in the car with them. And then having that conversation when I just wanted to die inside. So there was that, but at least I got full credit for the internship. Thanks for listening to my story, but I'm not done yet because there's another one. This was after I graduated, and I will say that was when I was the most desperate. And I think anybody my age that's fresh out of college, like thinking about the student debt they're about to need to start paying off, they're willing to accept anything. You know, they're willing to be optimistic about any situation. And I know that happened to me because I said yes to the Container Store to be a customer service agent, even though they lied to me that I was not being customer service. And I was getting paid $14 an hour when the average of my area should have been $17.50. So I was severely underpaid and lied to about the work. So that's another story. Anyway, so I remember on LinkedIn, some guy reached out to me. He had connections with the University of Tampa, and he had the startup app, and he was promoting it. And I have a background in copy editing. I probably need to spend some more time and refreshing my skills, but I was fresh out of college with my little minor in professional and technical editing. So whenever I read anything, that was like all my mind could think about, like error. Like, I was picky, you know? And so I look at his app's website or whatever, and it's filled with mistakes. So me, the sassy girl that I am, I responded to him like, you do know that you sent me this and it has like all these errors like this and that. And he's like, what? So then now he's like sending me more stuff, and I'm okay with that because this is like, I am earning his trust. Like, he sounds pretty big shot, like a startup, like that's fancy, like take what I can get. And then he's wanting to do a remote internship. Now it's unpaid, which I found out this guy has a lot of money, so I don't know. Like, I know that you're supposed, when you have a startup, you're supposed to fundraise for your startup and kind of keep it separate from your personal funds. But at the same time, like, he knows that I'm on the struggle bus. And so I think he gets that. So he starts telling me, like, I have so many connections in Dallas. There is this place, you know, like this shop in Highland Park. I know the owner. I'm going to set you up with an interview. Like, I'm going to make this happen. You know, like, I'll get you, you know. So I think he was pretty much like trading me that off with payment. He was trying to do like a tradesies, because that, I mean, I guess I have experience to put on my LinkedIn, but and then maybe a reference, but pretty much there's no pay. And eventually, like, after you graduate, you only have like such a certain amount of window, and then when that runs up, you have to start paying off your student loans. So it's like, okay, like, you know, whatever, like, thank you for the job connections. So I start doing like all this work for him, this and that, and then he starts sending me stuff like his lawyer created and this and like other stuff that was really outside of my realm, because I'm thinking, I'm not a lawyer, and so I don't want to copy edit this in the wrong direction where your lawyer had it right and then I swoop in and I make it wrong. Like, I'm not here to try to be a liability. And some of the stuff he'd send me from the lawyer, he was like, I need you to look at it to see if it's cool. What does that mean? Like, it's one thing if like you're wanting me to work with somebody who helped with copywriting, that's kind of advertising and this, that. It's a whole nother ballpark that you're wanting some type of like lawyer pitch deck, or I forget what it was, but the lawyer wrote it and I'm supposed to make it cool. The pressure was definitely on, and I kept telling him, like, I don't know exactly what you mean. Like, I'm trying my best to communicate with him. So there's just a whole lot of work and zero pay, and a lot of being on demand of this and that. But finally, like, I get, like, the interview comes up, because I remember I forget if I had to, like, call in or if he, like, put us in a group email or whatever, but I got an interview scheduled. So I spent like all this time preparing my resume, get my outfit going, and I go to this place, you know, and this woman, like, I have to wait for a bit, and this woman comes out and she's like, oh, like, let's meet, you know, because it was like, we met, I think we ended up going to like a little grocery store that was really cute, because this was like in a shopping village. And so we sat down and we talked, and finally she confessed. She's like, there's no job opening. I was just told that I should interview you as courtesy. So basically, like, it was all a waste of time. Like, I asked them, like, in their timeline if they were going to have any job openings. They were not. And it's almost like he just spent so much time bragging about his connections, and he just like made something happen, but it ultimately wasted my time, because I even like I tried my best, because like since she was being transparent, then I was being transparent, and like there was nothing that she could help me with. She didn't really have any connections with opening this or that. That was just it. And so I was so over it. Now I'm going to tell you about the startup, and it's still on the App Store, but basically he was trying to make an Instagram that was more influencer based, easy to sell. However, after his launch, or by the time he got to like 2.0 or something, then Instagram decided to give companies the ability to sell directly on their platform. Like, you know, when you look like at a company's photo, and then you can tap the photo, and then these little pop-ups come on it, and then you can directly buy from them. Like, Instagram managed to create an e-commerce marketplace right then and there. So Instagram, again, so huge. I don't see anybody taking the time to then also download this app. So I believe it was like at the same time, I ended up doing an internship for one of my guy friends who was, you know, all about the business world. He was an entrepreneurship major. And so he actually knew this guy because whenever he would do like an entrepreneurial pitch for college, he would be there and be like the judge or something like that. So I knew they had a connection, so we talked in person, because he's like, I'm not gonna have anything on record of me bad mouthing him in text. Like, we're gonna have to talk. So we get on the phone, and this is me and my friend, okay? And he reveals about how this guy has always given him red flags, super shady. He kind of like looms in and out to try to keep his spot as like being a judge for these panels, but he doesn't do anything. And it's just, I forget there were other things, but I remember everything about it. He's like, something in my gut, Lesley, tells me to never work with him. He approaches me and I'm just friendly, but I don't work with him. So I just knew, like, I was getting a vibe, and one of my best guy friends had a vibe. I wish I was close to that guy now, but oh well. Anyway, so I was just like, I need to fizzle this out. So that's exactly what I did. I think I told him that I was moving on to other things and that was going to be too time consuming, but we hope we can stay in touch or something like that. So I graduated in 2016 from college, so this was years ago. But in the past 6 months, he reached out to me on LinkedIn asking what I was up to. I told him YouTube, and then he's brought up like me doing some partnership with his app and like making a profile on me about YouTube. I wasn't for sure because of how he worded it. Didn't sound like something that was possible with his app. I don't know if it was like, maybe there's like an update to it, like he had to expand it. I don't know. It was just weird. And to me, it honestly seemed like it was just another way for him to feel like we're doing an even partnership, and he's doing me some favor. But there is nothing, like no fans, database, anything of the app that would benefit my brand. It would really be me as like a small content creator. Like, I'm the bigger player here. Like, it would be me giving him promotion. And I don't even know if I responded to that, to be honest. I don't think I did. But, like, I used to feel so pressured that I always had to respond to people. I don't. If you're, a little bit of a snake in the market, like, I'm not going to give you the time of day. Like, I don't deal with snakes. I don't know if I was all over the place or not. This is one of those times where I'm filming at midnight and I'm really taking, like, from my past, like, certain things I still haven't thought about in a while. And I was like, wow, like, it's hitting me, like, all at once. Like, oh, but I think everybody has their own unpaid internship horror story, just because it's companies taking advantage of college students and getting that free labor. And I just don't think that's cool. So I wanted to contribute my story time video to you guys. Now, I want to hear what you guys have to say about unpaid internships. So you can let me know in the comments. I'm pretty good at responding. So, let's have a conversation here. Give this video a like just for the story times, because I kind of have more that I want to put on this live channel. And yeah, so, okay, thanks for listening to me. It was my therapy. Okay, love you, mean it, bye.